All right. I tell you what, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll keep my eye um, on the attendance list, and if anybody else joins late or at any point, we'll go ahead and let them in. And for anybody listening, this is a recorded demo, so feel free to reach out to whoever sent this to you, emailed this to you, if you want more information on content marketing, Workforce Institute, or specific details on how content marketing and traditional marketing intersect. My name is John Gallagher. I live here in Virginia Beach with my wife and my son and our Bernie Doodle. We've been here for 3 years. In the last 18 months, I've had the privilege not only to work with Workforce Institute, but a number of really high functioning organizations from a content perspective. I've helped CVS build out their webinar strategy. I've helped Verizon Wireless build out their blog strategy. I've helped the University of Phoenix build out their on-page landing page strategy. And this evening, I'm really excited to help you take your first step into what is an exciting endeavor in content marketing. We're going to talk a little bit about what content marketing is, why it's important, the difference between content marketing and traditional marketing, and then how to find a future in content marketing. So to put it succinctly, here is our table of contents for the evening. What is content marketing and why is it important? Where does content marketing stop and where does traditional marketing begin, and kind of what is traditional marketing, right? How to prescribe content marketing. The really, really high grade content marketing is prescriptive. It's not reactive. We're going to talk a little bit about both of those approaches, and then how to find a future in content marketing. So I've already given you a brief introduction, but I want to lead with this. The reason that I got my start in content marketing, I have at least 3 or 4 years of experience in paid search very early on in my digital marketing career. And there's a lot of great things that you can say about paid search, but one thing you can't say about paid search is that the people who end up at your website did so willingly. If you're really good at paid search, it also means you're really good at generating paid traffic. And what that means is that we're running ads at the top of Google search or Bing search or a variety of different search engines or social platforms, and we're paying to put our content right in front of your eyes. And I would argue that content marketing is a stronger, more pure form of organic marketing. Why? Because everything we put in front of a customer's eyeballs, they want to see. They didn't pay to visit the website. They're there of their own volition. And in an era where 58% of Google's total revenue is paid search, content marketing is the clean, organic equivalent. All of content marketing exists so that we can add value to the customer experience. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So there's a very, very popular content marketing education organization out there called the Content Marketing Institute. And they've developed a very well thought out definition of content marketing. And they say that content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain blah, 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 right? And they're correct. They're a great resource. But I believe content marketing is a heck of a lot simpler than that. Content marketing is the creation and distribution of any asset that adds to what the customer knows and feels about your brand. So before you ask, okay, is fill in the blank content marketing? The long and short answer is it probably is, right? From the 5-second TikTok video to the 3,000 page case study. Anything that adds to what the customer knows and feels about a brand. Well, why is that valuable? It depends on the type of asset that we're building. So most of the time, consumers think of content marketing as blogging or search engine optimization, but it's a heck of a lot more complicated and nuanced than that. There's a large number of different content marketing assets that companies can draw from. Here are just a few of those examples. You have blogs, right, which are the online articles that render across the world's most popular search engines. You have email marketing and all of the great different forms of email sequences that companies should use to engage customers before, during, and after they purchase or partner with a brand, right? Everything from a nurture sequence to a win back sequence for customers that maybe put a product in their cart, but then didn't end up purchasing that product. You have video, you have white papers, which are in-depth articles that provide high value information on a specific topic, right? We have a white paper on the Workforce Institute website right now about how companies can bridge the digital marketing skills gap that exists industry-wide. A case study tells the story of a satisfied customer and how your company took that customer from the before state to the after state. And we'll talk a little bit more about the value behind that, right? You have your infographics, which is not just a graphically designed asset, but it is a diagram that provides more value to the customer than just an image at the top of a blog. You have social media, right? And in an era where so many of us have a social media presence, so many of us think that we're social media experts, right? The customers that leverage social media effectively can really make a difference for their own brand, right? And then you have the webinar, which is an online seminar or presentation just like this one, conducted over the internet that allows participants to interact, learn, and discuss a particular subject, right? Why is content marketing important? Boy, I'll show you. Companies that maintain a blog receive 97% more links to their website and 55% more traffic. Email marketing is the single most valuable form of marketing on the planet. It generates an average return on investment of $42 for every dollar that's spent. Video is insanely important because there are over 1 billion hours of video that are consumed online each day, but only 62% of companies use YouTube currently as a viable marketing strategy. More than 70% of the decision level executives today consider white papers when making a buying decision, but not close to that percentage of companies actually use white papers. Let's talk about case studies. More than 99% of buyers, regardless of the industry, consult online case studies or reviews before making a purchase. In fact, online reviews are still the most important decision-making factor in driving purchases, according to several user case studies, right? People like and share infographics across social media 300% more than any other form of content, right? Social media, 98% of marketers say Instagram is their most influential platform for influencer marketing. And you want to talk about webinars, just like this one, well, more than 50%, 62% of webinar attendees express interest in sales follow-up. But so often, I still hear from top-level brands, Fortune 500 companies, I don't want to put money toward my blog strategy because I just feel like I'm pouring my money down the drain, right? I don't want to send emails to my customers because I don't want to bug them. I don't want to build videos no one's going to watch. I don't want to build case studies because I don't want to bug my current successful customers. Nobody really likes and shares things on social media anymore. If you haven't said these things as a customer, you probably felt them, right? But the proof is in the data. Content marketing is still the number one most important marketing strategy that customers today will buy into and that companies can leverage. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to talk about the specifics of how to implement a content marketing strategy. But first, I want to talk about why content marketing is important to me, right? This is why content marketing is important to companies across the globe. In fact, I've made very similar presentations just like this before signing, contracts with several different companies, right? You kind of have to help them see the light a little bit. But I want to talk about why it's important for me and why it's important for you. Number one, content marketing feeds my family, right? It puts food on the table. But number two, it's honest. Content marketing is honest, right? How many times have you or someone that you know ended up on a website you didn't want to end up on because you were tricked into clicking on a link based on what you thought was going to be on a website? And then you realize the link or the influencer or social media or whoever it is lied to you, right? You were clickbaited, you were tricked, you were influenced into reaching a website or submitting a form you never had the intention of submitting. Paid search can do this, social media can do this, email marketing can do this, content marketing can do this, right? But genuine content marketing is honest and contributes value to its customers, right? I'm working with Verizon Mobile right now to educate farmers on the eastern side of the United States about leveraging faster internet, leveraging faster internet speed so that they can fulfill their transactions online instead of traveling for those same transactions, right? I'm working with the University of Phoenix to build out a landing page strategy so that we can help address a vast nationwide nursing shortage, right? These are just two examples of how content marketing actually contributes value into the lives of its customers. If you've ever felt a little bit icky at the end of the day because you feel like you don't actually contribute value, whether you're just entering data into a spreadsheet or paying for ads, content marketing is a blatant, deliberate, obvious exception to that rule, in that content marketing, well thought out and well done, contributes value to every single one of its users. That's the exception. Let's talk a little bit now about content marketing versus traditional marketing, right? What we might have meant by marketing 5 or 10 years ago. So we're going to talk about 4 categories, and I'm going to run through them quickly because I want to spend more time talking about content marketing as a strategy and how you can get involved. But let's dive into these topics real fast. Nature, audience, analytics, and adaptability. Nature. So content marketing focuses on creating relevant, valuable, informative information. And the proof is in the user experience, right? More and more what we're seeing is that if a blog was published, let's say, for example, in 2000 or 2020 or 2021, it's already too old. People are navigating away in favor of a newer asset. So content marketing is relevant. It has to stay relevant because customers want relevancy. By contrast, traditional marketing emphasizes promotional advertising. So advertising and promotion is first and relevance is second. And if you've ever driven past a billboard that you can tell is 20 years old, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Number 2, audience. Content marketing engages and educates the audience in ways that you can't fake. It answers audience questions, and if it does its job the right way, it answers questions that readers or users or audience members either didn't ask or didn't know they had. By contrast, traditional marketing interrupts audiences with intrusive messaging, right? I'm looking at you, YouTube. How many times have we brought up a video and instead we're watching 30 seconds of advertising, right? There are even forms of organic traditional marketing that feel interruptive, like the pop-up ad, right? Like the radio ad, like the free Spotify ads, right? Even though they're not always advertisements, even though sometimes they're built by users that are trying to contribute genuine value, they interrupt what would have otherwise been a streamlined user experience. And that is what we're trying to navigate away from. So if you want to join an army of people that are largely against the pop-up ad, except when it contributes genuine value, that are largely against 5-minute influencer self-plugs, then you're ready for content marketing. And you're ready to turn your back on what traditional marketing wants to sell you. Analytics. We can track content marketing more than we can track everything else. I can't tell you what I had for dinner last week, but I can outline minute by minute website traffic, social shares, conversion figures, traffic flows, time on page, pages per session, cost per 1,000 impressions. I can outline all of these analytics figures for you on any website or any client that I work with or any content marketing campaign that generates traffic to a landing page. Why? Because content marketing is what traditional marketing often can't be, and that's precise. By contrast, traditional marketing is less precise. It's reliant more on what we call entry-level metrics. So content marketing, because it takes place digitally, can track users in ways that traditional marketing just can't, right? I'll say that again. Content marketing can track users in ways that traditional marketing just can't. And by track users, what I mean there is we're tracking user behavior in ways that doesn't compromise their identity, but allows us to deliver more of a streamlined user experience. So for example, traditional marketing is reliant on entry-level metrics like clicks and impressions and views. But once those users penetrate your website or finish your video or migrate or navigate from one page to another, we lose them. But content marketing allows us to streamline that tracking and drill down in ways that are, number one, valuable for your company, but number two, valuable for you. Because if you want to stick in the content marketing world, you need to find ways to provide value for your employer or for your clients. And there is not a faster way to provide value for your clients than by showing them data they didn't already believe or access, whether that's a real-time data report or user information, right? Now let's touch on adaptability before we're going to get into the reason that you're here. And that is how to prescribe effective content marketing, how to look at a client, diagnose their needs, and prescribe effective content marketing. But let's take a quick look at adaptability. Content marketing allows for quick adjustments and updates, whether that's on the fly or once a campaign is already launched. Traditional marketing typically requires more time and more resources to make changes. And I'm going to make a very obvious comparison here. It's going to be very difficult to optimize a billboard in the same way that we optimize a website, right? If I have a client and they go, hey, I made 50 changes to 50 products a piece. Can you update it by tomorrow? I can get that to my team right now, and we can make those changes in 12 hours. Google's going to re-index those pages as soon as we submit those pages to Google Search Console, and boom, search results are updated and live in 48 to 72 hours. If I want to update my billboard, I'm going to call a billboard company. They're going to get their truck and their people out there. They're going to get the longest ladder you've ever seen, and they're going to paint over my message, and they're going to charge me overtime for it. I probably don't have to tell you which form of marketing is more effective. Content marketing is the future because of the way that we can track our users, because of the way that we can adapt to our content needs on the fly, because of the nature of content marketing itself, and because of the way that we can engage our audience authentically. All right, let's transition to prescribing content marketing. And this is where I want to spend my time, because this is the value you're going to take away from this, right? 90% of content online never receives any traffic. 90% of content online never receives any traffic. That number should scare you. It scares me, right? Because I know I'm contributing to that number. Here's the good news. The content that is read, that is consumed, is prescriptive. Now, what do we mean by prescriptive? We talked a slide ago about analytics, right? And how content marketing allows for detailed data tracking. Well, when we track the right numbers, we're going to be able to decide in February where our content marketing strategy should go based on how January performs. No other form of marketing is that quick, can pivot that fast. But that agility is what keeps content marketers in business, right? And so now the question becomes, okay, how do we adapt, right? And what are we tracking, right? So I'm going to give you 3 things that all content marketers want to track. Number 1 is your keywords, your website keywords, your primary and secondary keywords, right? And if you're not taking notes, this is where you want to start. We really need to track our clients' keywords, whether that's organically through platforms like Search Console, where we're combing through our search terms report, whether that's supplementing our organic search with paid search through the search terms report in Google Ads, but likely we're going to use a third-party tool like SEMrush Position Tracking or Ahrefs or Moz Keyword Explorer to track our keywords so that we can tell where our content ranks in Google, because the number one way we can prescribe content marketing is by looking at where we rank and identifying opportunities for on-page SEO improvement, right? Tracking our keywords. Number 2, we're going to track our users, because even though our keywords and our products may not change, our users are always changing. And so we're tracking behavioral changes on adaptable platforms like social media, right? To determine the trends that intersect with our brands, for affiliate marketing opportunities, for co-marketing opportunities, right? And then number 3, we're tracking the brand itself. Every time that product marketing comes to you and they say, hey, we're launching a new product, or we overhauled our mission strategy, right? We need to optimize and prescribe new content marketing solutions that reflect those best practices. So what does this look like? Well, let's go through it. Let's say you're working with an online health and wellness e-commerce store. So there are a lot of these, right? But it's an e-commerce platform that sells health and wellness products. Could be beauty, could be exercise, could be just general fitness, right? And they want to increase sales of their natural supplements and wellness products. By the way, if you've worked in content marketing for more than 5 seconds, you know that very rarely does a client ever come to you and go, hey, I'm an online health and wellness e-commerce store and I want more visitors to my website. That never happens, right? They always go, I want to increase sales, right? I want to increase cost per conversion. I want to increase total conversion. I want to decrease time to conversion, right? Everything is based in sales. So what we need to do is reverse engineer the purchase process and go, okay, you need sales, but before someone is going to buy, they're going to learn. If you take nothing else away from this presentation, remember that. Before someone buys from you, they learn from you. In fact, more than 83% of consumers will purchase from the same company that educates them. I was reading the study yesterday. More than 83% of customers buy from the same brand that educates them. So why aren't we educating our customers as a step one? Well, we're going to do that. We're going to build a 3-step prescriptive content marketing strategy right now. And there it is. Number one, we're going to outline our audience ICP. ICP stands for Ideal Customer Profile. Who are our customers? If that company comes to you and they go, hey, I need more sales, I'm going to turn it on them and I'm going to go, okay, who am I selling to? And if you've been here since the beginning of this presentation, you know that we mentioned before state and after state. The before state is really what we need to drill down into. We need to identify everything that our customers experience before they're introduced to our products or our services. What's wrong with them? What's wrong with their lives? What challenges, what roadblocks, what obstacles are they facing? And then let's drill into the after state. How does our product or service transform their life? And if we're a wellness company, the answer you're going to get from the CEO is, oh, well, we help them fix their rash or they lose 15 pounds, right? But that's not what I want to sell them. Sell that on your product pages. Sell that in your paid, put that in your paid search headline. Content marketing is all about contributing authentic value. So we're going to turn that back around on that health or wellness CEO. And we're going to go, that's great that you're fixing their rash, but talk to me about the happiness and the fulfillment they're going to experience. Maybe they're going to be able to spend more time with their family. Maybe they're more confident in how they look, right? Maybe they're more confident in the way that their voice sounds, or maybe they're able to fit into pants they haven't fit into in several years. That's what we're going to drill down into, because someone is going to purchase from your client once because they like the product, but they're going to buy again from you because they like the face of that product or they like the way that that product feels. Long-term brand partnerships, that's the goal, right? So number one, we're going to outline our audience ICP. Number two, we're going to prescribe a content marketing roadmap, and we're going to dive into what that means. But the wrong answer here is, let's just do everything that we talked about earlier. Let's just prescribe everything. This would be like a doctor going, you know what, you have a cold, so I'm going to give you a shot. We're going to operate on you. We're going to cut your leg off, and I'm going to give you hair implants. And you'd be like, no, just give me the one thing that's going to help me. But so many content marketers get caught up in, okay, what is my competition doing? Or what are all the options available to me? The correct answer is not, let's do everything. The correct answer is prescriptive, right? Okay, where are my challenges and which strategies am I going to prescribe? And we're going to do that for this client in just a couple of minutes. And then number three, you're going to launch those campaigns and you're going to optimize those campaigns in ways that only content marketing can. We won't need to tear down a billboard on the side of the road or call up Spotify and go, you know, hey, that 3-month radio advertisement package is no longer going to work for us. No, we're going to launch campaigns that allow us to optimize the second we have enough data to do it. So let's dive into number one, outline our audience ICPs. And if it's a health and wellness client, well, this is probably what you're dealing with. You're probably dealing with two types of ideal customer profiles, and don't think that you need to read everything on this page. I just outlined this so that you can see the depth that we need to go into, right? By the way, after this presentation, we're going to email everyone on this call with the slide deck, and we'll follow up with a couple of links. So no need to take screenshots or notes here, right? But outlining that audience ICP, ideal customer profile, allows us to identify everything that we can speak to in their before state and their after state. So I want to know things like their gender, their income, where they live, what their family status is, right? Their psychographic data, right? Like what do they value and where are they spending their time, right? Behavioral traits, like do they want to buy online or in a store? How many times do they buy? How long between purchase orders, right? Which products do they prioritize? Once we have this information, we can answer those two really, really important questions for content marketing. What is the before state and what is the after state? Number two, we're going to prescribe that content marketing roadmap, right? And for a health and wellness client, this is what I would suggest if I'm speaking directly with the client, right? I'm going to go, all right, you're an e-commerce brand. So since we need to educate our customers before they buy, we need to build at least a 3-month editorial calendar that answers the questions customers face. And after 1 month, we're going to do two things. We're going to take a look at where our keywords are ranking, and we're going to take a look at how our content is performing. And once we do those things, we're going to base month 2 and month 3 off of how month 1 and month 2 are performing. That's prescriptive. You are instantly making yourself more valuable than someone who drops in on their client or their employer, builds out a 6-month blog calendar, and pieces out, right? I'm going to suggest that we build out 2 different types of email marketing campaigns. Number 1 is called an abandoned cart campaign. Anyone who adds one of our products to their cart and then navigates away, we're going to send them an email, and it's going to have nothing to do with making a purchase. It's only going to identify the value of the product they haven't bought yet. You see what we're doing? We're providing a ton more valuable on something that they're right on the edge of purchasing, right? And by the way, we'll drop them a 5 or a 10% discount code just to sweeten the pot. But the real value there is, here are 5 things you can do with the product that you're considering purchasing from us right now. The second email marketing sequence we're going to run is called a cold acquisition or a win-back sequence. And if someone purchased from us, but then went radio silent, we're going to win them back, right? Not only with a discount code, but more importantly, through providing value on products or services they haven't purchased, right? And we're going to identify the value in pairing the product they have purchased with the product or products they have not yet purchased, right? We'll touch briefly on the other types of content marketing I would suggest prescribing. If it's a health and wellness e-commerce brand, it may be an impulse purchase. And if it is, we're going to leverage social media, user-generated content, customer reviews, quick tips. We're going to integrate video not only into social media, but into YouTube, right? And more importantly, we're going to build a community of purchasers. And that community is going to receive our community-only newsletter, where they receive tips directly from company leaders, right? Not from us, not from me, but from the people who built the company, the movers and shakers, right? The CEO who wants to reach out directly to his users, the doctor who has insider information on how those products are going to change their lives, right? I'm going to touch briefly on number 3 here, which is launch and optimize those campaigns, because I don't have a slide for it, because we need to launch those campaigns before we can optimize them, right? But briefly, what we're going to do is dedicate as much time to building those content marketing campaigns as we do optimizing them. And as soon as we have enough data in SEMrush, in Google Analytics, in Search Console, in Page Speed Insights, in GTmetrix, in DataBox, in Looker Studio, in whatever platform you're using, we're going to make tweaks to our content marketing, right? We're going to make our emails shorter if our inbox open rate is not where we want it to be. We're going to make our videos longer based off of user feedback. We're going to send our newsletters more frequently based off of customer questions, right? So we're going to allow our users to tell us what they're looking for in their content. I want to dedicate a couple of minutes now, closer to the end of our presentation here, to talk about your future in content marketing, only because this was and is me, right? So let's talk about 5 really, really important roles that are booming right now in content marketing that you are really one educational program away from capitalizing on. The content marketing specialist, which is really a content marketing generalist. You partner with brands or one employer to leverage all of the strategies that we just discussed: email marketing, video, blog strategy, on-page search engine optimization. You might dabble in web development or graphic design, depending on that customer's needs, right? Copywriter, editor. You are the brand author that CEO can't be. Because as a copywriter or an editor, you are publishing on that brand's behalf more than anyone else, more than sales, HR, customer success, IT, or the C-suite. So you need to know that brand's language and value proposition inside and out, which means you need to learn effective content marketing, right? As an SEO and SEM specialist, you handle 100% of the pie. Search engine optimization, which is all things organic traffic, and search engine marketing, which is all things paid traffic. So whether you're paying for an eyeball or you're value generated it solely through content marketing, you're doing it all. There is not a role that prepares you more for a VP of digital marketing position than an SEO and SEM specialist rolled into one. Because if you can learn effective Google Ads and search engine optimization, you are a digital marketing unicorn in an era where companies do not have enough digital marketing power, where they can't hire entry-level digital marketing and content marketing roles fast enough. You just made yourself indispensable. If you want to master email marketing, there's not a faster way to do it than as an email marketing coordinator. You'll learn the specifics of the win-back sequence, the cold acquisition sequence, the product and marketing suite introduction sequence, right? You will learn how to optimize for inbox open rates, for opt-out rates. You will become your company's email marketing guru. And as a graphic designer, you will accomplish something that I never have, which is not only an eye for infographics, but also the ability to add art to the written word. As a content marketing director, I can tell you and I can build you an editorial calendar. But when it comes to visualization, I'm powerless. I need a graphic designer that has spent their time learning the art behind content marketing. And it's more than just an art, it's a science, right? It's learning the visual aspects that go well with the written word. That's really, really, really important. So before we dive into our last few slides, I've got a really intrusive question, but also an enlightening question. We'll see if we get any user feedback here. And that is, where do you see modern businesses infusing real value into the customer experience through content marketing today? Through content marketing today, where do you see modern businesses infusing real value into the customer experience through content marketing today? We'll give you a second to think about it. We'll ask if anybody on the call has any feedback. I'll provide you with one really good example that I see, and then we'll dive into our last couple of slides on content marketing and really give you some actionable next steps on how you can get started tomorrow. So the question is, where do you see modern businesses infusing real value into the customer experience through content marketing? Perfect. I think we've given everyone time to think. If you have any feedback, feel free to unmute yourself and offer that, or drop a couple of comments here in the chat, and we'll certainly highlight them. We'll give you a few seconds to do that. And if you don't want to provide any feedback, totally fine. Keep it to yourself. It's better that we recognize these examples so we know how to replicate them than that we share them on a call. And while we provide some of this feedback, I'm going to provide an example of a business today that is absolutely killing the content marketing game, and that is Bird Dogs. If anybody's familiar with Bird Dogs, the men's shorts company, they build like the stretchy amphibious shorts that you can like wear, to go swimming, and then, wear to church, and then wear to sleep, right? They are killing the content marketing game right now. If you go to their website right now, their product listings are sarcastic and satirical. Their website loads insanely quickly. But more importantly, behind all the sarcasm and the satire, they offer a brand that is no bigger than you as the customer. And that's the underlying goal is in content marketing, is no matter how many customers we service, to make each customer feel and know that we're talking just to them. And that's what Bird Dogs does. When you purchase from them, they will follow up with an email sequence that includes a personalized video. I mean, who's doing that, right? Content marketing is all about helping customers capitalize on their after state. And Bird Dogs is doing that. So I have no digital marketing affiliation with them, but if you want to look at what content marketing is doing really well, go check them out. Let's talk about why study content marketing. And I know I'm running a little bit late on time here, so I'm going to dive into more than just this, but really here's the answer to why study content marketing is this last paragraph. If your final goal is to learn all things digital marketing, you can't get there without a veteran understanding of content marketing. And don't get me wrong, content marketing is very important, but it's only one piece of the pie. What do I mean? Yikes. Digital marketing is all about introducing our brand to the right pair of eyes, which means that in addition to content marketing, we need to learn, or we need to have, as part of our company, data-driven marketing, paid search marketing, and a deep understanding of our audience. Now, you don't need to provide all of that to a company or to a client, but any successful company needs those insights. And that's why when we built the Workforce Institute Digital Marketing Bootcamp, we didn't build the Content Marketing Bootcamp, right? We padded Module 6, which is the content marketing module, with education on digital marketing fundamentals, with SEO best practices, with PPC and paid search best practices, with data analytics best practices, with social media best practices, with Google Analytics best practices, with video advertising best practices, with mobile optimization best practices, and with data tracking best practices. We package this all into a single digital marketing bootcamp, not because we're trying to upsell anyone, but because if you're going to succeed in content marketing, you need to know how your piece of the pie fits into everyone else's piece of the pie. The most valuable content marketers I know understand where their responsibilities end and paid search begins. They understand where video advertising ends and their responsibilities begin. But most importantly, they understand how to track the results of the strategies that they implement. And that is why one of our modules in the Workforce Institute Digital Marketing Bootcamp is results analysis and data-driven marketing, because that's how large companies today succeed or fail. It's not based off of, solely the content marketing that they build, but in the data from those content marketing strategies that they track. So in a single bootcamp, we package together fundamentals, PPC, SEO, content marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, video advertising, and data tracking. If you're remotely interested in that bootcamp, I encourage you to scan the QR code on your screen right now to reserve your place in our next digital marketing bootcamp, which is filled with digital marketing experts that are a heck of a lot brighter than me, who know exactly what they're talking about, who have a decade more of experience than I do, who can really help you bridge the distance between the raw digital marketing skills that you have and the refined content marketing and digital marketing skills you need to take your place at the front of a digital marketing industry that's still evolving. So if you're remotely interested in that content marketing bootcamp, or rather that digital marketing bootcamp with a massive content marketing module inside, I encourage you to scan the QR code on your screen right now to get started. As a reminder, we will be emailing out or sending out, I believe it's through an email, this entire content marketing slide deck, along with the webinar recording and an introduction to connect with us again if you have any other questions about content marketing. I want to thank everyone who was a part of this presentation for staying until the end. We're excited to see you in our next digital marketing class. This is not the end of our digital marketing suite. We will be offering courses on-page SEO, off-page SEO, landing page optimization, conversion rate optimization, paid search, email marketing, as long as we have interest in those courses. So if you are interested in any other digital marketing service and you want to see some form of instruction on that, we encourage you to follow up after this call with that information. I'll leave the room open just a couple minutes if anyone here has any questions and wants to unmute themselves and ask any questions about content marketing, digital marketing, or anything else. And if not, we will go ahead and sign off. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or ask them right now. Amazing. Then we'll go ahead and sign off. My name is John Gallagher. It's been a pleasure spending just a few minutes this evening with you. And we hope to see you again soon on a future Workforce Institute digital marketing course. Have a good one.